welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really digging into something crucial, scaling your dropshipping business. Specifically, how to use Facebook ads effectively, looking ahead at 2025.
Yeah, it's definitely a hot topic. The game has changed. The sources we looked at really hammer home that just having a cool product isn't enough anymore. Scaling in 2025 means you've got to master the ad platforms, and Facebook, well, Meta ads, they're still presented as like the key weapon for breaking past those revenue ceilings.
Right, not just getting lucky, and it's not just about getting more traffic, is it? The sources emphasize profitable growth, sustainable growth. So our mission here is basically to distill all that info, pull out the really actionable strategies, the warnings, the insights from the source material to help you figure this out.
Exactly. And one thing that comes up right at the start is that your ads, however brilliant, won't work if your shop isn't ready. Your whole brand presence matters. Think about it. If someone clicks an ad and lands on a site that looks, I don't know, sketchy or just unpopular, they'll bounce, right? Building that social proof, that credibility is step one. The sources actually mention that powering up your online presence is vital. And look, they even point to tools like rapidboost.net as a way you can, boost your social media profiles quickly to build that trust, especially when you're starting out or trying to scale faster in this crowded market.
Okay, that makes sense. Build the trust foundation first.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Facebook itself. Why, with everything changing, TikTok, all these platforms,
Yeah.
why are Facebook ads still so central in 2025, according to these sources?
Well, the sheer scale is just undeniable. You're looking at over 3 billion active users across Meta, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. It's like the biggest potential audience pool anywhere.
Okay, sheer numbers. But is the tech still good? Is it keeping up?
Oh, absolutely. That's the other piece. The tech, especially with Meta AI, has gotten incredibly sophisticated. The targeting isn't just, women aged 25, 34 interested in yoga anymore. Facebook's data lets you get super granular into really specific micro niches.
Can you give an example of how specific are we talking?
Sure, the source gave a great one. Imagine targeting people who added blue sneakers to their cart in the last week and also engaged with eco-friendly brands.
Wow, okay. That's specific.
Right. And that kind of precision, the source says, leads directly to, higher conversion rates and, crucially, lower CPA cost per acquisition. You pay less for each customer.
Lower CPA, that's the name of the given profit. Okay, so the platform's still powerful. But you said the store needs to be ready before the ads. What are the absolute must-haves there?
Yeah, non-negotiable. Driving traffic to a leaky bucket is just throwing money away. So first, speed. Your site needs to be lightning fast.
How fast is lightning fast?
Sub-second load times. Seriously. People expect instant now. You can use tools like GTmetrix to check. The sources even mention things like headless commerce for really getting that speed dialed in for scale.
Okay, speed. What else on the storefront?
Checkout needs to be seamless, frictionless. Think Shop Pay, Apple Pay, those express options. The data suggests they can boost conversion by up to 30%. Make it easy.
30%, just from checkout options. Okay.
Yeah. Then, trust signals. Obvious stuff, but critical. Reviews, guarantees, security badges, all prominent. And here's a key insight for 2025. Video testimonials are apparently crushing static text reviews right now. More believable, more engaging.
Video testimonials, got it. Anything else site-wise?
Mobile first, UX, user experience.
Right.
Over 80% of Facebook traffic is mobile. You have to test everything on a phone, every button, every image. If it's awkward on mobile, you're losing sales. Period.
Speed, checkout, trust, mobile perfection makes sense. Now, technically, the sources really stress something called Meta's Conversion API, or C for API. Why is that so vital now with iOS changes and all that?
CPPI. Yeah, this is huge for 2025. The old Facebook Pixel, it relies on browser cookies, right? And cookies are getting blocked left, right, and center because of privacy updates. CPI is different. It's server-side tracking. Your website server sends the conversion data purchases, add to carts directly to Facebook, bypassing the browser issues.
So it catches data the Pixel might miss.
Exactly. It fills those gaps caused by iOS 14, browser settings, ad blockers. And why does that matter? Because Facebook's AI needs good, clean data to learn who your best customers are and optimize your ad delivery. The source material cites ROAS improvements of 15 to 25% just from implementing CPI properly.
15 to 25% lift. Just from better tracking. Okay, that's huge.
It is. It does need careful setup, data hygiene, testing, but yeah, it's pretty much foundational now if you want reliable performance and scaling.
Okay, CPI is a must. Beyond the tech, what about the ads themselves? The sources mentioned building a big creative and copy bank.
Yes, because once the plumbing is right, the message has to hit home. And scaling means you burn through creative fast. So relentless testing is key. You need a library. What kind? Short videos, under several seconds are killer. Native-looking stuff like user-generated content, UGC, or influencer snippets, things that blend in. And specific ads for retargeting people at different stages.
How many creatives are we talking? Is it like 5 good ones?
No. The benchmark cited is pretty intense. The top dropshippers scaling hard. They're testing a minimum of 10 new creative assets every single week.
10 no ones a week. Wow.
Yeah, creative fatigue is real, especially at scale. You need fresh angles constantly.
Okay, that's a commitment.
Yeah.
So stores optimized, key APIs firing, creative machine is running. Let's talk Facebook strategy. Audiences first.
Yeah.
What's working in 2025?
Right, audiences. Custom audiences are your absolute bedrock. These are people who already know you. Website visitors segmented like 30, 60, 180 days back. Video viewers, maybe people who watched over 50% of your ad. Add to carts, initiate checkouts, the people who got close. And of course, your past customers. That's your warm pool.
And why are they the backbone? Just because they're warmer.
Exactly. Warmer traffic converts better. There's a case study in the source, Sleepies. They split their retargeting, one campaign for video viewers, another for cart abandoners with different messages. The result, 40% higher recovery rate on abandoned carts, and their overall CPA dropped 28%. Segmenting warm audiences works.
Okay. Tailoring the message to how much they already engaged. Smart. What about lookalike audiences? Still powerful.
Still a superpower, yeah. But the key now, according to the sources, is basing them on your most valuable customers, not just any customer. This is where good KPI data, maybe integrating your email CRM data, comes in. You tell Facebook, find me more people like my high AOV customers or like my repeat buyers.
You're giving Facebook a better seed audience profile.
Precisely. Quality in, quality out. The algorithm's smart, give the best data. The tip is usually start with a tight 1% lookalike based on your best data, like high-value purchasers. Then, as that works, you can test broader, maybe 2-5%, but watch the performance.
Okay. Search sharp, then broaden carefully. What about interests? Is that still a thing or too broad?
It can be broad, yeah. So the strategy now is often interest stacking plus behaviors, layer-related interests, like the source example, yoga plus organic food plus online shopping. Then layer on behavioral filters like engaged shoppers or people with recent online purchase behavior. It refines it down. And don't forget, AI recommender audiences Facebook suggests these based on your data can be powerful for finding new pockets.
Man, targeting's getting complex.
Yeah.
Well, how do you structure campaigns to handle all this? CBO, ABO, what's the play?
The consensus seems to be test both, especially initially. CBO campaign budget optimization lets the AI shift budget between your ad sets to get the best result overall. Generally better for scaling once you have winning elements. But ABO ad set budget optimization gives you direct control over spend per ad set. Good for testing new things, or when you have limited data and want to ensure each audience gets a fair shot.
So maybe start tests with ABO, then move winners into a CBO campaign to scale.
Exactly. That's a common, effective approach mentioned. Find the winners under controlled conditions, then let the AI optimize the budget for growth.
Okay, so you found winners. How do you actually scale them up? Just crank the budget.
Carefully. That's mistake number 1 we'll get to. The sources outline 2 main methods, vertical and horizontal scaling. Vertical is just increasing the budget on a winning ad set. But the rule is go slow, like 20-30% increases every 48 hours or so. Big jumps shock the system, kill performance. Patience is key.
Right, gentle increases.
And a horizontal. Horizontal is duplicating what works and tweaking something. Duplicate a winning campaign or ad set, then test maybe new creatives against that same audience. Or test the same creative against a new lookalike percentage. Or split by device, like iOS only versus Android.
Can horizontal scaling really uncover big wins?
Oh, yeah. The Peklo example in the source is great. They found a gold mine by horizontally scaling, specifically testing demographic and device splits. They hit big targeting pet parents age 25-44, iOS only. That specific slice found through horizontal testing led to a 6-figure month. It's about finding those super profitable niches within your broader audience.
6 figures from finding that specific segment. Wow. Okay, horizontal scaling for finding pockets. What about dynamic ads and creative automation? Sources highlighted those too.
Right. If you sell multiple products, like more than 10, dynamic product ads are pretty much essential. You connect your product catalog, and Facebook automatically shows people ads for the exact products they looked at on your site, or similar ones. Super personalized.
Makes sense for retargeting especially. And dynamic creative.
That's powerful for any product. You give Facebook a bunch of assets, different headlines, different images or video clips, different call to action buttons, and the AI mixes and matches them on the fly, figuring out the best combo for each individual person seeing the ad.
So it does the A/B testing for you, but like massively scaled.
Exactly. And it works. The Zentek Gadgets example showed their CTR jumping from 1.6% to 3%, nearly double, and cost per purchase dropped 22% in weeks just by using dynamic creative with a mix of pro shots and UGC clips.
Those are serious gains, letting the AI optimize the creative itself and placements. Just leave it on automatic.
Mostly, yeah. Automatic placement lets Facebook find the cheapest impressions across Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, Audience Network. It's usually best for scale. But the advice is always check your placement data. Sometimes, especially for like impulse buy products, you might see Instagram stories or reels massively outperforming everything else. So you could consider optimizing for those specifically, but start broad.
Okay, check the data, but automatic is usually the way to start. So we've covered core strategy. What about more advanced tactics, pushing things further?
Yeah, this is where it gets fun. Sophisticated retargeting funnels, not just one retargeting audience. Think multi-step. Maybe first touch for view content video viewers is about benefits, UGC. Then, for add to cart initiate checkout folks, it's urgency, maybe a small offer, more social proof. Then, for past purchasers, it's upsells, cross-sells, maybe getting them onto a subscription.
Tailoring the message to exactly where they dropped off or what they did before.
Precisely. But the key here is frequency management. You don't want to annoy people. Aim for, say, 5-7 touch points over maybe 2 weeks, but critically, keep refreshing the creative within that funnel. And use frequency caps in Facebook to stop showing the same ad over and over.
Right, avoid that ad fatigue. Okay, what else is advanced? AI testing.
Yeah, leveraging Facebook's own AI tools more deeply. They offer predictive analytics now, insights into which audiences or creatives are likely to perform well, or which ones might be starting to decline before it tanks your ROAS. Ambitious dropshippers, the sources say, use these tools to run rapid tests on tons of variations, spot trends early, and shift budget based on predicted value, not just past results. It's presented as a key differentiator for really explosive growth.
Using AI to get ahead of the curve. Powerful stuff. What about expanding, going international?
Definitely a scaling lever. The advice is usually start with similar, English-speaking Tier 1 markets, US, UK, Canada, Australia, easier entry. Then, once proven, test carefully in other regions, Europe, Latin America, Asia. Key here is localization, not just translation, but culturally relevant creatives and copy. Facebook's multi-language dynamic text feature helps manage the text variations.
And the logistics must be a headache.
You have to plan for it. Things like offering free international shipping over a certain amount can really help conversions. And localization matters. The EcoTotes example showed a 60% drop in CPA just by properly localizing copy and testimonials for the French market. Huge difference.
60% CPA reduction just from localization. That's incredible. Okay, so tons of potential, but clearly lots of ways to mess it up too. What are the biggest pitfalls the sources warn about?
Oh yeah, plenty of traps. Mistake number 1, scaling way too fast or only scaling by throwing money at it. Like we said, the algorithm needs time. Those gradual 20-30% budget increases every couple of days are crucial. Big jumps break the learning phase.
Patience, patience. Okay, what's next?
Ignoring creative fatigue. We touched on this, but it's huge. Your best ad will die eventually, especially at scale. Monitor performance daily. Rotate new stuff in weekly. Have backups ready. Don't fall in love with one ad.
Keep the creative pipeline full. Got it.
Exactly. Mistake 3. Losing sight of profit margins. Revenue can look great, but are you actually making money? You need to track your blended margin across everything, know your true landed product cost, and set firm CPA targets based on that. Don't chase revenue into unprofitability.
Right, focus on the bottom line, not just the top line. What else?
Neglecting customer service. Scaling means more orders, which means more potential issues, questions, returns. If your support can't handle it, you get angry customers, bad reviews, chargebacks. It kills your reputation and eats profit. Scale support before you desperately need it. Chatbots, VAs, AI tools, whatever works.
Proactive support scaling. Good point. And the last one.
Relying only on Facebook. It's powerful, yes, but risky. What if algorithm changes hit you hard? Or ad costs spike? Diversify. As you scale and make profit, reinvest some into Google Ads, maybe TikTok, influencer marketing, an omni-channel approach is more resilient.
Makes sense. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yes.
Okay, so if someone's listening and wants to put this into action, what's the step-by-step game plan from the sources?
Okay, boiling it down. The sources suggest a 7-step plan. 1. Audit your store. Speed, mobile UX, checkout flow.
Uh,
And critically, get Meta KPI installed and verified. Nail the foundations.
right. Audit first. Step 2.
Build your creative bank. Commit to that 5, 10 plus new assets per videos, UGC, static images, different angles, constant flow.
Okay, creative fuel. 3.
Launch test campaigns. Start small. ABO, maybe $50, $100 a day. Test your core audiences retargeting, best 1% lookalikes. Watch closely. Find early winners.
Find the winners small.
4. Scale with CBO. Move those winning ad sets into CBO campaigns. Increase budgets gradually, that 20-30% every 2-3 days rule. Expand audiences carefully as performance holds.
Gradual scaling. 5.
Optimize with data. Be ruthless. Use Facebook's AI and predictive tools. Killer fix underperformers fast. Double down on what the data says works.
Data-driven decisions. 6.
Expand channels. Reinvest profit. Start testing Google Ads, TikTok influencers. Build resilience. Find new growth avenues.
Diversify. And finally, 7.
Strengthen fulfillment. As orders ramp up, make sure your suppliers can handle it. Automate tracking. Scale up customer support. Keep the back end smooth.
That's a solid roadmap, from foundations right through to diversifying.
Yeah.
So if we zoom out, what's the big picture takeaway here for scaling dropshipping with Facebook in 2025?
Look, it's clearly a mix of art and science, right? Success isn't about some secret hack. It's about getting those fundamentals nailed, the tech setup, the store experience. It's about relentless testing, especially creative. It's about being smart with data and audience strategy. And it's about scaling patiently, but, decisively when the data supports it.
So solid setup, constant testing, data-driven decisions, and adaptation, not chasing shiny objects.
Exactly. That's the recurring theme. Get the basics right, leverage the tools smartly, test, iterate, and scale based on what's actually working. The sources really emphasize that continuous process.
And it connects back to that initial point, doesn't it? As you get ready to scale that ad spend, making sure your brand's initial impression screams trustworthy and popular becomes even more vital. That social credibility piece the sources mentioned.
Yeah, it acts like a multiplier on your ad spend, essentially. Better trust means better conversion rates from the traffic you're paying for.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. Beyond the CPAs, the ROAS, the targeting tactics, how much does building genuine trust and authority around your brand, that solid social proof, fundamentally change the impact of every single dollar you invest in scaling those ads? Something to think about.